So this is all nice and dry, and while I was offline I went back and worked in this and made it a little darker so it's a little more balanced here to this color, so it's like one step down from here. And so this area, of course, I need to make from one step down from here as far as darkness is concerned. But I originally said I was going to come in with a green and a red to darken this down, but I wasn't too sure about this color. So what I did was, this is my practice sheet for making my colors, for checking them, and it's the same paper that I'm working with. So what I did was I used my two original colors, which was for this background, which was the burnt carmine and the indigo blue, and I just made a little background and a little swatch here. And then I used, this is the green and the red over this, and then I used more red than green, just trying to get the colors, you know, and try to work out what color, what combination did I want to use. And I couldn't really get what combination I really wanted. So here's an even bigger one over here as I tried other color combinations to see, is this what I wanted to use? And I just came back to the original of just using more blue and orange. And this is, you know, orange and blue are the actual complements of each other. So it just gave me another darker blue, which still keeps the blue color here, but it just darkens it down enough. So I can still see movement here, so my eye still wants to know what the heck's going on back here. But it's just, it's a blue-ish. It's a blue-ish. So that's what I decided to go with. So since this is now darker, this is actually looking lighter. It really hasn't changed this, but since this has become darker, this has been changed in response to that. So it's kind of one of those little balancing acts that you have to go through. So since this is now even paler, so now we know we need to darken up even more over here. So that's why I like to come at this at two different angles. It's, you know, go from light to the midtones, then jump to the darks and start working to the midtones. Now you can start finding that balance in between and start working towards a more balanced artwork, especially when you're working with your colors. I also do that when I'm just working with a monochrome, or, you know, your black and whites, your pencils. It's a way to find a nice balance with everything that you've got going on. So let's get started in this area here. We really do need to darken this up here, because this really needs to be nice and dark, as we can see in our original image here. Look at how dark it is here. So we really need to start pushing this area here. Yes, Pyewacket, everybody can hear you. We can all hear you on our, as you're just cooing over here. Yes. And what the other thing I've noticed is I really don't have this warm enough here. Her image is really, really warm. Look at how warm it is here. So I really do need to start warming this up a lot more. And I might even, no, sweetie, you stop it. You've been good for so long. And I might even actually start bringing in some vermilion red, which is actually pretty orange, actually, as I'm looking at it. So might just do that too, to help just really kind of bring in some more of those warm colors, so that this really starts bringing this image forward as the blue actually pushes back. And then start working some of my purples back over here on this edge to help give that three-dimensionality of the image. Yes, Pyewacket, you are such a good helper. So let's use some of this vermilion orange. Let me go ahead and yep, this is an old-fashioned film canister that we just super glued or epoxied in there we go. Let me get this off of there. There we go. Super glued a Yep, totally lost that word. Yes, Pyewacket. Oh my goodness gracious. You are such a helper right now. Yes, you are. Uh-huh. Can you be any more help right now? I don't think you could be. Oh, you're dancing. Honey, honey. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. There we go. Yes. Hey, 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 sit down. Sit down. So any woman who has ever had a child before knows what it's like to actually draw one-handed. Yes, honey, you are such a good girl. Mm-hmm. No, you just sit there. Yes. So I'm just working some of these warm tones, warm oranges in here. Got a little bit too much of a green. Hey, 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 sit down, sit down. What are you doing on the table? Yes, you're a good kitten, aren't you? Are you helping? Yes, you are. You're such a good helper. Yes, you are. You're such a good helper. Hey. Mm-hmm. Hi. I don't normally have this much help when I'm drawing. Apparently Pyewacket has decided I need a lot of help with this image. Yes. Okay. Pyewacket. Hi, sweetie. You are a good girl, aren't you? Yes, you are. Okay, so I've got that. So now I'm going to come in with my burnt umber because I need this area here, as we can see here. I need this to be darker here, but I definitely don't want it as dark here. So I'm going to be working this down in color. Yes, sweetie. Hi, honey. Oh, yes. You're my baby girl, aren't you? Okay, and this. Okay, and now let's see. Let's get some indigo blue in here towards this edge. Hi, yes. You just go to sleep right there. This Mama's got you. Now I don't normally push this many colors in one area, but I'm kind of thinking that we could get away with it as long as we're careful. Try to control our Sorry, I'm not talking too much about this. I'm really kind of concentrating on what I'm doing. Pyewacket got very upset with me because I was actually vacuuming earlier. That's why she's apparently decided she needed some cuddle time. So okay, so there's that. So let me see if I can get you a shot of what's going on here. Yep, there she is, right as I'm drawing. I gotta hold her as I'm drawing. Okay, so yes, you're a good kitten. All right, so oh, what? You're upset that everyone knows you're here? Okay, so we've got this a little bit better. This is much better. So we need to darken down this area here and this area here on the outside of, or inside of her eye. And then we can, I think we can move on to this area here. And remember, it's all kind of a, oh, and then we're also going to need to go in here too and down here also. Remember, it's kind of like stepping into stages. Don't want to rush into it too quickly. Kind of want to sneak up on the darkness, because you can't go back on it when you're done. Okay, so let's see. We need to pull that out a little bit more. Okay, so let's bring this out. Hey, down, off of there. Yeah, you're in trouble for that one. You know that. Okay, and then fade it out. So I'm just going back and forth between the blue and the orange right now. And I'm kind of accenting where some of the purple is. So I don't have to worry about the blue clashing with any of the colors underneath of it. So that's nice because the colors underneath of it have already been wet so that they will not interact with any of the color that I'm putting on now. So that as I'm working, I don't have to worry about a yellow causing me problems with a blue and suddenly getting a green in my image. That's because it's already... I might get an optical blend, but I won't get an actual physical blend. And I'll explain that at a different time. Okay, don't want to lose that nostril there. Trying to keep that in there. Okay, and then let's... So because I want this area here to be darker, I'm definitely pushing harder than this area here. So I'm adding a lot more of the color. So let's just kind of fade this out here. And then we can also just pull it with our with our water in order to make those changes also. But I think we're really starting to get a little bit more of the three-dimensionality of what we were looking for. Okay, so let's there's a little bit of darkness up here. There's a little bit of a shadow. And then there's a big shadow here. And then underneath here. And then down this way. Remember, follow the curvature of stuff. Now I'm going to leave the blue on the lips because I'm going to add some purple on that later. Okay, so we've got some actual shadow down here underneath this, and it fades towards this way. Underneath her chin here. It's not a lot, but okay, and then over here, and then down here. Now, got a little reflective light over in here, so we don't want to push down too hard. We want to make sure to leave that. And then over in here, now is where we start getting a lot darker. And up in here, that's where we almost lose this edge. There we go. Okay, again, light. Light. Darker, harder. There we go. Blend it back in. Now let's see here. This gets a little tricky here, but if you're paying attention to the details of what's in front of you, you can figure out what your light and shadow is actually doing. Okay. Now, one of the things I also want to talk to you about is the fact that when I did this section here, I originally did it, and then I was like, oh, that looks terrible. And then it started to dry, and then I was like, oh, actually that looks pretty good. So when you first do your water, don't jump to conclusions as to, oh my God, that looks terrible. Hold off on your decisions as to how good or how bad it is until after it dries. Remember, it looks a little different after it dries. You might like it after it dries, so you need to make those decisions later. Okay? Don't jump to conclusions as to what you're doing, what you succeeded or not succeeded. Okay? Now, a lot of you are going to be looking at this going, wait a minute, she's lost a lot of the lights going on around on the glasses. Yes, I have, but I know how I'm going to fix that, and I'll fix that later. Because, well, it's a mixed media, so I'm going to go with mixed media. I'm actually going to take some gel pens and come in and actually put in some silver highlights a little later. So, yes, I'm cheating, but I'm cheating fairly. Because I'm an artist. I can do that. Okay, so I like that a little bit better. I don't think I'm completely where I want to be yet. I still think I'm going to need some more darks there. But remember, you sneak up on them a little slowly. Don't rush in there. Okay, so I'm thinking I need some more purples over here to help with pushing that a little back. So let's get some of my violets in here. So I need a little bit more of a violet color over here. Okay, because I'm seeing some color in here, right around in here, but it's not a really big standout color, but it's definitely a warmer color. It's not a blue color, but it's not a what do I want to say? It's not a it's a little cooler. So this violet color should fit the bill of what we need. Okay, there we go. So the violet should help the shape turn. And push these edges farther back. Okay, and let's work some of this into the lips there, because it's looking a little too pale. There we go. There we are. Yeah, that's looking a little better. Okay, so I'm seeing some more darkness here. See all this dark over here on here? So let's go ahead and see if we can't work some of this in here. So back to our blues and our oranges. Okay, so underneath here, yep, there it is. And that'll help really make that stand out. Make that nose. There we go. And make this leading edge here of shine. That'll help that really stand out also. There we go. So sorry I'm not talking much. Just really enjoying drawing right now. And really been enjoying the weather. Been enjoying working outside. So I'm cutting out the little sparkly stuff here that we can see. See all the little sparkly stuff over here that gives hints that there's stuff here. So that's what I'm kind of pulling out right now. Okay, so yep, some of this will become darker here, right in here, yep. Okay, don't want to darken it down some of this stuff too much because it looks more brown now than some of it looks black. Okay, here we go. Okay. Maybe do some corrections in here. Didn't like the way this came out too well over here. I kind of lost my concentration over here, and this didn't come out well. I was not paying attention to my details and lost my concentration. As you can see how this came out as a nice clump, and I lost my concentration, and this came out much different. So when you lose your concentration, that's when you lose your details. Now I'll probably come through with some browns to help reinforce this color so that it won't look quite so blue. But I do want it to still stay pretty orange, because after all, this is a very warm kind of composition. But yeah, that looks much better, I think. Let me see if I can back it out a little bit more. There we go. Yep. That's looking a little better as far as that is. I think this needs to be a little darker down in here. See how much darker that is right there. So let's go ahead. Well, first I said I was going to put some browns in here so that we didn't actually lose too much of this. So let's go ahead and put some more browns in here. Okay. So I'm using the sharp point in order to give me these nice sharp lines, and I'm pressing fairly hard and then swooping really quickly, and that gives me these nice feathers. So I get these nice individuals that gives us this nice look of the individual hair here. And then this way, as I'm working this in, this helps it disappear into these black areas. So we're dealing with kind of a lost and found type of an edge going on there. So then it kind of gives it a highlight and low light kind of thing going on. So we can kind of experience that sparkle thing now going on through here. Almost got too many pencils on my desk right now. Okay, so this gives us, this is how I create the illusion of hair. So I create these large clumps of hair, and then I come through and pick out the individuals later, like these little things here. So this is how I create hair. So I'll come through up here also. I'm going to have to okay, so that's how I do that. There we go. Okay, let's. I'm still using my brown here because it's a nice neutral color, and this is a pretty neutral color down here. So let's just give this a little bit more of a browning down here. And then fade it on up because it's not, because we've got this and I captured that really well, so I don't want to go over that. I just want to darken this down a little bit more, but it's not really got a lot of color to it, so let's just put a nice little extra browning in that. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, I'm pretty pleased with that, and I don't really mind that being so blue right now. I kind of like that. So okay, so I'm going to go ahead and water this here. I'm thinking I'm going to leave this as it is, but I want to go ahead and water the face and see how that is looking right now. I'm thinking I'm going to have to do a couple more colors on that. I'm thinking it's going to need a little bit more warming up and a little bit more cooling down and a little more darkening up on some of these areas. But we'll see on the next one how it looks. Let it dry, and then we'll start making some more decisions as to what we're going to do. But we'll have to see what we're looking at. So talk to you later on the next one. Okay, so welcome back to probably the final one. So this is my probably the last thing I'll do with this one, and then we'll probably have a critique as to some of the places that I really like about this one, and something that I'm not really too wild about this one. I'm overall pretty happy with the image. And then I'll lower the light that I have around here so you can actually see, because the light I have, it picks up a lot of glare. It's bouncing back, so I'll lower the light down on this so you can actually see what I see as far as the image is concerned, so you can get a better idea as to what's going on here at the end. So the last thing I'm going to do, this is actually a gel pen. It's a Uniball. And it's in a white, and since I've lost some of my nice white highlights, I came in with a silver, and you're actually seeing some of the silver actually being reflected back, but it's not showing up that well when you actually look at it when it's not underneath of a nice light. So I'm going to come back in with the white, and I'm going to give me some nice little highlights there, and then that way I can actually still retain these nice little highlights around here on these various little bright spots and specks. So I'm just going to bounce these little white little flecks back in so I can still have it in. So this way I can kind of go back in with and create these things that I lost. So when and if I actually would show this to people in competitions, I would call it a mixed media. So there's that. Now, one of the things I did was I originally started to put in some silver, which is actually showing up on camera, but it's not really showing up too much on when you look at it. So that's why I decided to go back in with the white. So this is a gel roller, and one of the things that I found interesting is that this is also water soluble. So I could come back in and actually pull this around with my paints also, and actually treat it a little bit like a watercolor. So that's, I found very interesting and something that's nice to know. So just kind of bounce a little bit of light around in some of these areas, little highlights. So I'm traditionally an oil painter. So in oil paints you do things a little bit differently, it's you deal with things in a much broader areas, you know, and then you start dealing with details a lot later. And that's one of the things that I think I did not do quickly enough in this painting. I didn't get to the details fast enough, and that's why I lost a lot of this stuff around the glasses. Is I wasn't concentrating quickly enough around the glasses, and I lost that detail. So that's one of the things. Now the nice thing about these gel rollers is that once the ink dries, I've found that I can actually come back in with my watercolor pencils, and I can actually kind of watercolor over the top of them. So I can actually add like a little bit of a highlight over color over the top of them. Now I do like the silver because the silver is also adding like a low color to it, but it's not as reflective. It's a lot more of a subtle kind of thing going on. But I like that. I like that too. So I'm just kind of bouncing some of these little whites in through here. Try not to drag it through this. Just trying to bounce a little bit of whites in here in various little spots. Trying not to be too heavy-handed with it. I don't want it to draw too much attention to itself. Overdoing it can you know, really draw attention to what you're doing, and then it looks like a gimmick. So don't want to do that. So there we go. Getting kind of happy with this here. So there we go. Yep. So I've done this basically all on camera for you guys. There's that. I think I'm going to come back in with some more silver and kind of bounce this in around in here. So I want to be careful about not touching this white until I'm pretty sure that it's dry, because I don't want to smudge it at this point. The silver will add in some highlights to it, but it'll be subtle. It'll be one of those things that you won't be able to see it until the light hits it correctly. So that'll be nice. That'll be interesting. So, but I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm planning on doing more, although this one took up quite a bit of time. This was almost 5 hours, I think, of doing this. But as long as you enjoyed these, I don't mind. Remember, send me some suggestions on what you'd like to see. Send me some information. Tell me what you would like to learn. Send me challenges. There we go. Send me some challenges of what you want to do, and I'll see what I can't do for you. Okay, so my critique of this piece. Let me turn the light down so you don't have quite so much of a glare, so you can see a little more of what I see when I'm looking at this piece. Let's see, that's closer. So that's what the piece looks like as I've been creating it. There we go. So there we are. And so that's a little closer right there. So so a couple of things. I like some of the things that we've managed to capture. I really love some of this, the blue down in here, and these purples, these nice warm colors. I really like the way some of this hair stuff here came out. These lost and found edges and these highlights through here. The fact that the glasses came out wrong really irritates me. I didn't capture this quite well enough. This is actually curved, and I kind of lost my concentration up here. I was too engrossed in the big things, and I wasn't getting to the details fast enough. Like I said, I've been oil painting for too long and not doing my watercolors enough. And you do, in oil painting, you do the big things for a long time, but when you're watercoloring, you do details really quickly, and I forgot that, so forgive me. But yeah, this came out a lot flatter right across here. This should be a little more arced in here. So if I was to ever do that again, I would make sure to keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I'm really relatively pleased with this piece, and I hope you guys learned a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next video. Please share whenever you can. It helps the channel and lets me know that you guys are out there, and kind of helps me keep going on these, because they do take a long time to do, and keeps me going on these things. So thanks. Bye.